Today we're going through NBA season recap. We're about a month in, so we're going to break down what's gone on in the season so far. Let's go. What's up, everyone? It's Zack. Welcome back to the channel today. It's been about a month since the NBA's been here, and the season's been super wild. So we're going to break down kind of my recap of the season so far. I got a couple different categories I'm going to go through today. We're going to start off today with the best moments of the season. I got my most impressive teams, least impressive teams, and then the players that have really stood out to me, and then some others that have just kind of been like, these guys are kind of just playing like trash right now. So we're going to go through that today. Before we get into it, leave a like, hit that subscribe button, all that little YouTube stuff. You guys know what to do, but yeah, let's get into it. So we're going to read from my list here, my favorite moments so far. These are ones that I've actually like been watching the game and like saw it happen. And I'll throw up like a clip of the actual thing happening. But first up, Jonathan Kuminga. This one's kind of pretty low-key, but Jonathan Kuminga cooked Brandon Ingram on this inverted Euro step move, and I was just like at a loss for words when this happened. Like, as a Hooper seeing this, I was like, oh my gosh, like B.I. just got cooked, and Steve Kerr was like, oh my gosh, like he couldn't even believe it either. Everyone was losing their mind, but it was just like a super sick play. Next up, of course, is the Steph. Night against Dallas. What a game that was. Steph was struggling, I guess. Like he was missing a ton of layups and shots around the bucket. In the final end of the game, he starts like getting super aggressive. I think he scores their final 12 points, and he hits this nasty step back to basically just bury the Mavericks, and hits the night on them against Clay. Clay's return to Golden State. Like everything in that moment was just so sick. So definitely one of the best moments so far. Then giving a little flowers back to Dallas in this game with the Timberwolves, Dallas and Minnesota. First off, earlier, Luka hits this insane, he's driving to the middle, he hits this wrap behind the head pass to the corner. He hits a three. I think it was Alexander Walker maybe in the corner, but that play was crazy. But later, Luka, the shot clock's running down. Dallas is trying to ice this game, just end it. Luka loses a ball around the hash mark, and he's just dribbling around. He basically steps back, throws up this prayer shot, and swishes it. He's yelling at the crowd. It was just the ultimate Luka highlight moment of just I'm him, shut up, don't talk to me. That moment was pretty sick. Then you had Franz Wagner, and this is just a magic shout out really, because I'll talk about them later too, but Franz with this dirty step back to bury the Lakers after he had a huge game, and it was just a back and forth. That game was crazy too, but Franz hitting the game winner step back was just the icing on the cake on that one. Then we're going back-to-back buzzer beaters. We got Jason Tatum with this basically desperation heave in this game against Toronto. Toronto shouldn't even be in it, but they kind of let him creep back in. So the Celtics force OT basically. And then Tatum hits this crazy three ball at the buzzer. No one was expecting it really. He just kind of does his little he does his dribble move and just pulls the ball back and shoots, and he just hit it. Game over. And then the second one is Julius Randle's disgusting step back. They were not trying to get the ball to Randle to win this game, but he gets the ball, drives, pulls it back, and it just looks like the defender just got the chair just pulled out. He just flies into the paint. Randle hits a step back three, and Minnesota wins. But that was a crazy buzzer beater too. And then these last three are going to be players that just had some huge performances this season. Dalton Connect, 9 3 balls, 37 points. He was going unconscious. This game was crazy. He even pulled the Jordan shrug out. He's like, nah. That was crazy for Dalton Connect. Shout out Dalton Connect for real, though. And then we have De'Aaron Fox, back-to-back. We got two players with back-to-back insane games. De'Aaron Fox had 60. He dropped 60 on Minnesota. Then he goes back to Utah, and he drops 49 against Utah. He almost goes back-to-back 50 balls. Crazy from Fox. I've loved him so far this season. And then another player I really love, LaMelo Ball, went back-to-back just barely. He dropped 50 on the Bucks. Crazy. But then against the best defense in the league, he goes back-to-back, dropping 44 on them too. Almost a triple-double. Oh my gosh. These players are hooping this season. Moving on, it's time for the most impressive and least impressive team so far. My number one most impressive team is the Orlando Magic. They have had Paolo for not a lot of the games really. They were sitting at this weird space where they could kind of start just falling and slipping, and they are sitting firm in third in the East, 12-7. Franz has been playing out of his mind. You see him play in Germany sometimes, and you were just like, is he actually that great? But they're riding another 3-game win streak right now. They're playing really good basketball, and it's just defensively. The guards are so just active everywhere. KCP ain't even playing that well either. But they're just so glued together, and having Franz just actually be aggressive has changed a lot. So I really like what they're seeing. I hope Franz continues to shoot the ball well and play well when Paolo comes back. Now, my second most impressive team is another team, basically the same record almost, but the Memphis Grizzlies, sitting at 11-7, and they have snuck their way into 5th in the West. And this is kind of weird, honestly. Like, the Grizzlies kind of have a pretty, like, depth team. Like, they have a lot of depth on their team. They're riding a win streak right now. Jaw's been hurt. He's only played, like, half the games, but Triple J's been big. Bane has been great. He's been solid. But really, Jalen Wells and Scottie Pippen have been just solid for them. Like, Scottie Pippen, really. I was really excited when I saw him in the Summer League. He's been super good. I mean, that's all I really had to say about them. Because subtly, the Grizzlies are the 5th seed in the West at 11-7. And with some of those other teams down there not playing that well, I mean, the Grizzlies have a pretty good shot to make the playoffs right now. Least impressive teams, I'm pretty sure I've talked about both of these in past episodes, but first up is the Minnesota Timberwolves. They are 8-8. They are disgusting. I cannot stand watching them. Ant's shooting and shooting and shooting, which he has to because there's not a lot, but I saw the other day, Randall's refusing to pass the ball to Gobert. Gobert's yelling at him. Ant is yelling at Gobert. Like, it is chaos there. Dante can't shoot the basketball. Conley has been not great shooting the ball either. And I don't know. They are a mess in Minnesota right now. I think they'll figure it out, but you see both the Knicks and the Timberwolves kind of struggling to piece things together, and I think the Knicks will have an easier time being able to do that. Obviously, I think the supporting cast is way better in New York for what they're trying to do with that centerpiece in the starting 5, but I don't know. The Timberwolves just look gross to me. Then, as of recording this, the Philadelphia 76ers, which a lot of people were really high on, I was basically like, they're probably going to be hurt, and it's Philly. I don't know, but as of right now, they're 3-13. They honestly should be 0-16. Like, this is disgusting. The Wizards should have a better record than them. Embiid has been gross. Maxey, when he was playing, was just a little off. I think he just needs some more pieces around him to kind of help round out his efficiency. Paul George, I even forgot Paul George playing on the Sixers because he's been non-existent as well. Yabusele and McCain have been the best players in Philadelphia this season. And I mean, I'm not kidding when I say they should literally be 0-16, maybe 1-15 right now, because I think 2 of their wins were in overtime. So, moving on, the next section, we're going to talk about some players that have really impressed me and not impressed me very much this season. We're going to start off with the best guys, the guys I've really liked. I mean, it's not necessarily just like the MVP guys, but like for real, LaMelo Ball is showing out. And I mean, we saw when he's healthy, like he has that ability to just like move around the court. He glides. Like he kind of reminds me of Halliburton a little bit in the way he can just like glide around. Halliburton is struggling this season for sure, but like LaMelo is just manipulating defenses really. Like he's averaging 31, 5 and 7. I just mentioned he had back-to-back crazy games. And the chemistry with him and Brandon Miller it's off the charts. Brandon Miller's at like 20 a game right now. The dynamic duo in Charlotte, and I mean, they've kind of struggled. They've lost some really close games. They're at 6-11 right now, record-wise. But I can see them sneaking into the playoffs because the way they're playing, I think they can round out the team with health-wise. Trey Mann, Allen Iverson reincarnated. He is back. I don't know. I think Charlotte can make the playoffs, and I kind of like what I'm seeing out in Charlotte. Next up is my current MVP frontrunner. It is Jason Tatum, the man. He is averaging 28, 8 and 6 a game. He's shooting the laces off the ball. He is, man, like, you saw, like, these kind of flashes in JT, and I think people have just kind of clowned him with his shot a little bit. It seems like he's fixed a little bit of the mechanic issues a little bit. I think he's still trying to round that out, but you can tell that he looks unstoppable. Like, he is someone that is about to hit, like, this crazy prime. He's so young still. And when he hits this, like, late 20 prime, I think he's going to be one of the best players we've, like, talked about because he's already doing this stuff. And, like, you just watch him play, and it's like, if he wants to take you to the bucket, he's going to get you to the bucket. He gets you on his hip. He gets you in his back, and he'll post you up and hit that spin fade. He'll hit that little euro where he sweeps the ball out, and his step-back isolation game is just very elite right now in the NBA. So, and if he's hitting 4 threes a game, it's going to be very difficult to stop this man. And also, can we please shout out 6th man of the year, Peyton Pritchard, 15 a game. When he comes in, he's an instant spark. Like, he'll come in and he'll just have 9 all of a sudden. He'll come in, he'll hit 2 threes. Like, he'll get a steal. He'll get, like, he just the Energizer Bunny right now. Like, he is crazy coming in the game. So, shout out Peyton Pritchard for real, though. But JT is looking really nice. My third, if the Kings could play a little bit better and win some of these games that they have just not been able to close out, De'Aaron Fox has just been a heat like just he has been scorching this season. Like I mentioned earlier, back to back, he had 60, then 49, like 60 from Fox. You love to see it because he's another one of those where when he shoots it, I'm like, oh, that's going in. It's like him. Donovan Mitchell does that too. Tyler Hero as well. When he shoots it, you're like, it's got to go in, right? But no, he is at 28, 5, and 5, almost 6 assists, I believe. Like, sheesh, this guy is killing it. And I mean, it's crazy because he has an even more crowded scoring room with Herter getting those minutes, Keegan Murray, and then DeMar DeRozan, obviously, Sabonis really being aggressive too. But he's just been super consistent. So we love to see Fox play like this because he's one of my favorite players in the NBA for real. And I just love that he's on this run right now. So Kings got to get some wins so we can get a little boost in that MVP rating. But I like what I've seen so far. All right, worst players. I got a bunch because it's mainly like, why can't these guys shoot the basketball right now? So I'm going to read them off the list so I get the numbers right. But first up, Embiid just does not look ready to play basketball right now. I mean, he's only been 4 games, but he's shooting 38%, 16 from 3. And I mean, it's early, but like, he just doesn't look like he's ready to play yet. And there's the other game the other day, he showed up like an hour late to shoot around. The game started at like 7. He pulls up at like 5:55 on like a different team bus. Like, it was just weird. He shouldn't have even played. I don't know. Philly they're kind of desperate right now because you kind of see that these guys don't feel like they're ready. And they're kind of feel like forced because they're 3-13. They're sliding right now. So, Paul George as well, shooting 38%, 28 from 3. And I mean, IDK, maybe it's just like the Philly curse, but I haven't really liked what I've seen out there. Now, legit though, I just want to read off some players shooting the ball because I'm like, why? What is going on? KCP, I mean, he's only shooting 4 threes a game, but 22% from 3, making under a 3 a game. Like, he is that 3-and-D like model, and he's struggled in Orlando a little bit. Scotty Barnes, 26%. D'Angelo Russell, 29 from 3, 38 from the field. Maxey, 29 from 3. I just haven't liked what I've seen from a couple of these like super like key players. Like, Scotty Barnes has been hurt as well. So, I mean, 7 games only for Scotty Barnes. So, hopefully I can see him improve. I think it was last night he hit like 4 threes or something. He's playing a lot better. But, I don't know. Some of these guys just kind of surprise me. And I think they're pretty big key parts to their teams. So, I want to see them improve a little bit, you know? And then one guy I'm just like really frustrated on that I just want to see him just take that leap is Jalen Green. Like, he's freaky athletic. He has the craziest highlight package probably in the NBA besides like Ja Morant. But sometimes watching him play is just frustrating. Like, his moves, his bag isn't like what you kind of want it to be. He's struggled a little bit to shoot the ball this season, and facilitating's not really there. I think his three's got to improve, but I really want to see him get like 3-and-D and then like isolation like master. Like, I want his defense to be active. I want him to take pride in it. Kind of like Anthony Edwards. Like, if he gets someone on him, like, he's going to defend his ass off and then like play so tough to be able to get the ball back so he can go down and score and get a bucket. And that's what Jalen Green needs to do, I think. So, kind of struggling a little bit. The 3-point shooting's at around like 30%, which I don't need to see. I need that to improve for Jalen Green, but the Rockets have been pretty decent too, so if he can improve a little bit in some of these areas, I think they can really take off. And I know he's young, but I want to see this ascension kind of come from Jalen Green. Some things I'm kind of excited for the rest of the season, with the NBA Cup kind of going to be wrapping up pretty soon. The standings currently, it looks like the Magic and Knicks are going to have a huge game to end the Cup in their group. Should be between those two. In Group B, it's going to also be, it looks like the Pistons and the Bucks game. There's a big, Miami and Milwaukee game tonight. That's going to be pretty big to see. I mean, if the Heat win, then they could actually win the group. If the Bucks win, they might end up getting that group. But that's a pretty close one. The other East group is just insane right now because of that Hawks beating the Celtics, it looks like, as of right now, the Hawks actually do have the edge. And it's going to be pretty tough because Hawks do get Cleveland, Boston gets Chicago. They kind of got to run of the score a little bit to get in, but that's the East. Out West, it's still pretty close because most teams are 1-1. The Kings are 0-2. Sadly, I don't think they're going to do much because the Rockets won both their games, but the Rockets still got to play the T-Wolves, and that group that's the group of death to me, like I kind of mentioned in my Emirates Cup preview, so throwing that one aside. And then, like I also said, West Group B with the Lakers, the biggest matchup is the Lakers and the Suns. I think that's going to decide the group. Still, if the Lakers win that one, they should win this group. And like I mentioned, Durant and Beal are coming back tonight. So I don't know. We'll see who wins that one. I'm kind of excited for that. And then Group C, baby. Golden State Warriors, 3-0 right now. All they got to do is probably beat Denver pretty handily because the Mavericks have a really good point differential right now. If the Mavericks beat the Grizzlies, then they could be 3-1. The Warriors lose their 3-1, and point differential comes into play. But Warriors basically win and you're in. So that's I like it. I like what I'm seeing in the Cup. I think the players care a lot. So that's for right now. That's really what I'm excited about. I'm also excited about the MVP push. I think some players are really caring right now. Shea has been great, but really I think right now it's like Tatum. And then I think if Ball and Fox, if their teams kind of pick it up a little bit, I think they're pretty like heavy. Like they're in the discussion, I think. So I'm excited. It's been a pretty sick year so far. So that's been the 1 month recap basically for the NBA. Let me know what you guys think about players, teams, the NBA Cup, all that good stuff down in the comments. But thanks for checking it out today. We'll see you guys on the next one.